Can you believe it is almost spring? And here in the Bay Area, it feels like it already. Look at all those flowers in full bloom. I gotta show you all my 15 green stalks. They're looking amazing. And my onions, my garlic, even my compost bins are looking really great. So we'll check those out as well. And I have to show you my indoor seedlings because those are coming along for the summer garden. Everything is just so much going on. Let's dive in. But if we haven't met before, hi there. My name is Tara, and like I said, I garden in the Bay Area. And maybe you found my channel because I have got loads and loads of contents on these beauties, which I've got 15 of. I'm gardening in them for my 5th year. So check it out when you get a chance. So let's go see the garden, starting with the green stalks. So let's start with these green stalks. These are my latest acquisition, and I've got a really detailed video where I show you exactly how I set these up, as well as my recipe for DIY soil that I make, soil mix that I make for these green stalks, which really everything grows super, super well. Now, these are mostly for flowers. I've got I guess the pink lemonade combination, the lemon and the pink, just screamed flowers to me. So that's what I've got mostly over here. A few things which are a combination of flowers and edibles, things like nasturtiums. I've got some ornamental cabbage, but everything is growing really, really well, including this red Russian kale over here. Look how gorgeous that is. So I am sure that the next time I show you this planter, all of these are going to be in full bloom, like these painted daisies over here. In fact, I've even got some dianthus that's starting to open some pretty blossoms. And right next to it, in my last video, one of my viewers said, "Hey, what was that planter next to your green stalks, and what have you got planted in it?" And it is one of my favorite parts in the garden. And this actually is about a year old. When I planted this last year, it didn't look like very much, but gosh, look at it now. It's got snapdragons that are coming into bloom right here. And this over here is called bloodleaf. Now, it is a tender perennial. It's a member of, yeah, I know you're going to think coleus. It is not related to coleus. It is, believe it or not, a member of the amaranth family. And it is just gorgeous. In winter, it kind of gets a little paler. And then in summer, as the weather warms up, it gets this beautiful, rich red color. So this thing, it's so hardy. And if you live in a mild climate, it's going to last year round and then into the next year. And if it's close to the house, like mine is over here, it gets some protection. And so it really, it's a showstopper, and it keeps going and going. Sweet alyssum is just gorgeous. This thing self-seeds for me every year, and I dig up the little plants and I put them all over because I love them so much. The bees love them so much. And yeah, can't lose with sweet alyssum. It is a magnificent flower to have in your garden, and it smells like honey. So good. Ooh, while we're here, let me show you these. These are called bullseye geranium, and I am so proud of these, you guys. I grew them from seed. Did you know you can grow geraniums from seed? Yeah, I didn't know either, but they're actually really easy to grow from seed. So consider that next time you're doing seed starting. You can get a lot of different varieties of geranium if you start from seed. And oh my goodness, my Easter basket daffodils are in full bloom. I got these just this year, so I've only got like 3 plants in each container here. I've got a couple of containers. They start off this kind of yellow color, and then as they bloom for a few days, they take on this beautiful pale salmon pinkish yellowish color. Just beautiful. Got more daffodils coming there. Ooh, the calla lilies are starting to bloom. Nice. Okay, let's pan you around this way. I've got a brand new camera. It's a Pocket 3 Osmo, and so I'm just kind of getting used to it. But so far, the footage is very, very crisp and beautiful. Speaking of beautiful, isn't this Arctodus beautiful? It's called Pink Sugar. It's kind of African daisy. And oh my goodness, you guys, look at all the pansies. They are, okay, I'll share my secret with you. The reason why these are so gorgeous is because I am really good about deadheading whenever I see a bloom that is starting to look like it's past its prime. And these are just, they're nonstop. Look at these colors. Just totally unreal. These are just a six pack that I got from, I think it was Home Depot, but so many different colors. I like buying pansies from starts rather than from seed. I can grow them from seed. They just take a little long to get going, and I want that color very quickly in winter. Oh, here's another pink sugar octotus. Try and get your hands on octotus, you guys. Very, very pretty flower and very rewarding. It keeps producing a lot of side shoots. I actually got a single plant from a friend last year, and this year I've been sharing because it keeps multiplying. So let's see, what else can I show you here? Yes, the painted daisies. So every year I try something new in the green stock that I kind of regret. And these painted daisies are one of them. I thought that they would grow maybe about a foot tall, but they are obviously growing a lot more than a foot tall, and they're starting to shade out the tier above. And then when I went and read the description, it did say that it grows to about 2 feet. So I should have known. But yeah, you pay the price. I've got lots of ants, and the reason is because there is probably an aphid nest somewhere in here. And I've got a little secret. Oh, yeah, there are aphids. Look at that. Ew, gross. So, my secret to controlling aphids this year is how I've been doing it is I just spray them with isopropyl alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and that takes care of the problem. So, try it on a plant or two, see if it works for you. It definitely works for me. Okay, quiz time. Do you know the difference between pansies and violas? I'll tell you. Now, the first difference I kind of don't get, but they say that pansies have four petals that point upward and one petal that points downward, versus violas have two petals that point upward and three that point downward. I don't know about you guys, but this also looks like four up and one down. But anyway, I know that these are violas. These are called Johnny Jump Ups. There are a few other differences. Number one is the petal configuration. Number two is that the pansies grow kind of more closer to the ground in clumps, and they are profuse. I mean, just look at that, for example, huge number of blooms. Violas, it's a little more spread out, but they have much longer stems. Look at that. And the other thing is they also grow, they have a larger growth habit. They don't stay in a small clump like this. And for me, the best feature is violas actually last longer. Pansies, once the weather starts to warm up, I don't have very much time left with these. They are in the peak of their beauty right now, but they're going to be gone in a few weeks. And then the violas are still going to hang on because they can tolerate heat a lot better than pansies. So, same family, but slight differences. So, choose whichever you want depending on your climate, or do a little of both. All right. Do you love succulents? I do. And I've been growing them only for about a couple of years now. At least I've seriously been growing them only for a couple of years. Before that, I had maybe a plant or two. But my goodness, who needs flowers when you can have succulents? Yeah, well, you do need both, but look at how beautiful they are. They are growing in this shadier part of my garden. I've got a large oak tree that is devoid of leaves right now, but when it gets leaves, it completely casts a canopy over this, and these succulents just love it. Our heat is too hot and dry for succulents in the rest of my garden, so over here they do really well. And these are going to come back too. These are cannas, not related to succulents, but they also like some afternoon shade. So this one, and I'm trying this for the first time. This is Bird of Paradise. I'm thinking it's a similar need as far as shade in the afternoon. So we'll see how they do, but definitely this is the spot for succulents. Did you see how I repurposed this little fountain to hold my succulents? And they've been doing really well in like hardly any soil. They are just so low maintenance. There's a saying that if you can get a succulent to stand up, your job is done. So what I usually do is I just, so something like this, for example, it was just a stem with a little, rosette on the top. I took and stuck it in the soil, and whoop, see, it didn't stand up. But if you can get it to stand up, push it into the soil where you can get it to stand up, it will root. That's all it takes. Yeah, so if you think that you are not a very good gardener, or if you're a beginner gardener, you just want some success, try growing succulents. You will think that you're an amazing gardener because they will do well for you. The only thing you need to give them is kind of well draining soil. Other than that, they just grow themselves. Yeah, grow some succulents. You will absolutely love the varieties that they come in, and they're so easy to propagate. I mean, the next time you're at your friend's house and you see some succulents, ask them to give you a little piece and they will grow. Okay, so you behind me you see this large enclosure. Well, we built that to keep the squirrels out and the rats out and anything else, raccoons and all these other critters that we have in my garden because last year I didn't get anything. I've got like 6 really large raised beds here. Everything, all my tomatoes got stolen, all my cucumbers got taken. Squirrels. Do you have squirrels in your garden? Have you figured them out? If you have, tell me because this is the only place that I think is going to keep them out, but we'll see. Let's take a look at some of the other things I've got going inside my enclosure that the squirrels can't get to as yet. Yeah, so I was in here the other day, and like I said, I didn't think that rats get in, and then I found this mangled body of a rat, sorry to be gross, lying somewhere over here. So I do not know how it got in here or what critter caused it to get mangled like that, but yeah, so things are getting into this somehow. I see a hole over here and I think maybe there is something that is coming from underneath. So, yeah, unfortunately, I do not have hardware cloth in these raised beds, so there are little critters that are getting in, but at least the squirrels can't. But check out my tatsoi. I'm growing them in these old worm. This is an old worm bin, so these are trays from that. So it's got like a mesh underneath. So these things are keeping at least the gophers from dragging them down. So I've got Mizuna and tatsoi here. And I'm also growing in these bus trays. These bus trays are really cool because they can grow a lot of things that are shallow rooted. And these are, I think these are called Little Shanghai Bok Choy. They are so adorable and they are actually pretty ready to eat. I'm going to let a couple go to seed because I want to grow them again next year. But yeah, prettiest little things. Now, one thing that I'm really worried about is I had a lot of asparagus in this part of the garden, and I am not getting any asparagus yet. Actually, I've got one spear, one solitary spear. It's a purple passion asparagus. But by this time last year, I was harvesting a lot of asparagus. This is like my 5th year, and everything seems to be gone. And I don't know whether they've rotted away. We haven't had that much rain, so don't know. Gophers, if you guys have any ideas on what might have gotten to my asparagus, let me know. Got some broccoli that's starting to flower. I've already harvested a few. I've just not been on top of my harvesting my fall garden, or maybe I'm intentionally just wanting them to flower because little bees and things really love them. But yeah, I should have harvested these. This is Bell Star broccoli. Didn't grow so well for me. I was a little disappointed, but I got something. And my peas are growing well, so I'm going to be actually already started harvesting peas. This is a nice sweet variety that I just kind of break off while I'm in the garden. This is how I get my 5 a day. So sweet. Yeah, peas are one of those things that you want to succession plant because yeah, I've already got another couple of successions going for these, so you can get that continuous harvest. I've got carrots growing here, another thing that you want to grow in succession. I really hate thinning carrots, you guys. I threw a bunch of seeds over here, and oh my gosh, I really, really don't like thinning carrots. So I'm going to be a lot more careful, plant more intentionally next time so I don't have to come out here and thin them. Here's another green stalk that I am keeping enclosed from the squirrels. This has all my strawberry plants in it. And this is starting to get some blooms. I'm seeing some blooms coming. I usually pick off the early blooms, and I actually have already a bunch of them, but I'm going to let these come through because I'm seeing that the plants are growing to a decent size right now. And these ants over here, that means there are aphids. I've got to come out and spray it with some isopropyl alcohol. No dilution, nothing. I just spray straight alcohol and that takes care of the aphids for me. Not just strawberries, other plants as well. So try it and let me know if it works for you. But if your plant dies, don't blame me. So try it on one plant first. Let's check some of my fruit trees while we're here. All of the lemons and oranges are starting to wake up and bud out. And aren't these gorgeous African daisies? I mean, they grow quite large, these plants. They grow like 3 feet tall, but I've noticed that they're sort of cascading over the sides and looks so pretty. I've got calendula growing along with my fig over here. Whenever my husband sees this flowers growing with fruit trees, he's like, pull them out. It's going to interfere. It's going to steal nutrition. And he's probably right. But I believe in biodiversity and I believe in flowers. But yeah, my figs are starting to get little buds on them. My Mile lemon is in full bloom. Imagine if all of these formed lemons. No, the tree knows how many fruits to produce, so it will start dropping buds as well as flowers, and just the right number, the perfect number of Meyer lemons will form on this tree, depending on the number of leaves and the size of the tree. My pomegranate is starting to produce little leaves. Now, I actually hacked back several stems of this pomegranate tree last year. And so I'm trying to keep the number of main stems to no more than about 4 because I find that too many causes the fruit production to not be as good. In fact, not good at all. So let's see how it does this year. And over here, sorry, pardon the mess there. Over here, this is, it's called a modern raised bed, elevated raised bed from Vago Garden. And it has been amazing, you guys. So this was the replacement for another bed, a wooden planter that was falling apart that I had here. And I've got a whole video on that, so check it out. I've got some interesting stuff about what happens to the wood that people often put at the bottom, like branches and wood pieces and things. I had a whole bunch of them. So check out that video and I show you what happens after about maybe 3 or 4 years. But what I wanted to tell you about was the soil that I used for this planter came from the one that I had dismantled, and I did not plant a single one of these beets, you guys. Look at these beautiful beets. They are all volunteers because there was one plant in that other planter that had gone to seed. And oh my goodness. Did you know you can eat beet leaves as well? I mean, how many can you eat, right? But yeah, this actually produces some nice beets. I pull them out and I actually slice them really thin. I peel off the outer layer and then I slice them really thin and I eat them raw. They are super sweet and delicious. But I have to show you one more beet because this is just the most bizarre thing. So this beet, I don't know whether you can even see it in here, but it is a gigantuous, is that even a word? It's a monster beet. Look at that. Oh my goodness. It's going all the way down there and there. I want to pull it out, but I don't want to pull it out because it's doing all kinds of weird things. So instead of producing flower spikes, this one is producing little plants. So it is, see over here, it's got roots. Yeah, this comes from that mother plant. And this one, it's got roots as well. And when it touches the soil over here, this is going to grow into its own independent plant. So this beet is doing something really bizarre. If you guys have experienced this with beets, let me know what this phenomenon is called. I'm going to have to do some research. I can't imagine that my beet is the only one that's doing that. So I wanted to show you my dragon fruit plants while I'm here because they're kind of coming out of their dormant state as well. But these dragon fruit plants have been an interesting experiment for me for the past few years. I think this is my 4th year with this monster, this particular monster. I actually got this on a whim when I was in Home Depot. I'm like, oh, dragon fruit, let's grow it. And it was this little itty bitty thing. And I took it and I planted it and it grew into a complete monster. And I say that in the fondest way possible. But what I did not know about dragon fruit, and this is why you should do research before you buy a plant and just kind of let it grow, is they come in different pollination types of combinations. So the one that I got, unfortunately, is a self-sterile variety, which means that it will never produce a dragon fruit for me. It needs another dragon fruit variety that flowers at the same time to cross-pollinate with it. So a friend of mine Out of the kindness of her heart, got me some cuttings from a couple of other varieties, and that's what's growing in these other planters over here. So I'm hoping that this is the year that these will flower. And even if they don't flower at exactly the same time, you can collect the pollen and you can freeze it, and then you can use a little paintbrush and you can pollinate other plants. So I'm going to try that this year. But if you want to know how to grow dragon fruit, I learned a lot of lessons the hard way, and I've shared everything, including how to trellis them, how to build the soil mix that goes into the containers, because dragon fruits, they live for years and years and years, like 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And if you use a soil mix that is going to degrade over time, it is going to cause the roots to rot. So you have to be really careful what soil mix you use with your dragon fruits. So go ahead and check out those videos if you're interested. Blueberries, that is another thing that I wanted to show you. Look at my pink lemonade blueberry plant, you guys. This one, I think this is the fourth year for it. I got it as a little 6-inch plant just a few years ago from Baker Creek, and oh my goodness, it is loaded with blossoms. Now, I've got an entire series on how to grow blueberries. There's a lot of things that you need to know in order to have success growing blueberries if it's your first time. So check out that playlist. I will leave a link. Here's another plant that is absolutely loading up with blossoms. So I'm excited. I'm hoping that I'm going to have a great harvest this season. So this year has actually been a really good year for cauliflower for me. It may not look like it from the one that I'm showing you. This one is bolting and so is this one. Our weather is warming up so rapidly, but I actually got several really large heads this year. Nice, tight, compact, beautiful heads. So put some pictures over here, but I will be growing a fall garden again next year because I had actually quite a bit of success this past season. All right, let's go check out some more green stalks on the other side of my garden. But while we're walking there, I just wanted to share with you guys that I am a GreenStalk affiliate as well as a Vigo Garden affiliate. And if you are finding anything of value in my video content, I sure would appreciate it if you would support my channel. If you decide to purchase from those companies, I've got discount codes and links and things in the description. So check it out. Thank you so much for your support. Yeah, fall and winter gardens are one of those things that a lot of people are just exhausted after the summer garden and they don't feel like doing anything. But for me in the Bay Area, I mean, that is the most hands off garden for me because that's when the weather has cooled off a little bit, don't have to water as much, the rains start. And so I really enjoyed growing a fall garden last year. And yeah, I got a lot for very little effort. That's the kind of garden I like. My summer garden is not low effort at all, but it's a lot of fun. So, and I enjoy gardening, so I don't complain about it, but it's a lot of work, especially keeping my plants watered. Anyway, check out this green stalk. Got a little story about it. Yeah, so this blueberry GreenStalk, I actually thought I would put indoors because GreenStalk has come out with some wonderful movers, indoor movers that I'm really enjoying using for my indoor houseplants. But I figured I'd grow some houseplants indoors in this blueberry GreenStalk, and it didn't just quite work out for me because lighting and all that is really tricky. You got to get some lights and have them on all sides, and for me, it just wasn't worth the effort. Plus, I have a nice little spot in which I'm growing a lot of beautiful houseplants, and the GreenStalk kind of is large and it was taking up more room than I wanted it to, so I decided I would bring it outside. But I am going to be growing themed green stalks this year, you guys. All the plants that you see right now in this green stalk are actually temporary. They are all spring. For example, you've got this purple lady bok choy that is already starting to produce flowers. Pansies are going to be gone, like I said. I've got poppies. I just can't wait for them to bloom, but they are also cool weather and they'll be gone. So between all of these plants, they're all going to be pretty much gone in about maybe 2 months or so. And then I'm going to make it a summer planter, and I'm going to use the theme. I call it my mother-in-law's planter because I'm going to be planting things in this that she really loves. So she loves coming and harvesting bell peppers and tomatoes. I'll plant some micro tomatoes, I'll plant some bell peppers, and just things that she likes. Like she loves tulsi. She likes to eat like 7 leaves of tulsi basil every day. So I'm going to plant some tulsi as well. So this is going to be my mother-in-law's green stock. Let me show you some of the others and what plans I have for them. So while we're walking over there, just wanted to let you know that every month, the first Saturday of every month at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, I do a live stream and specifically on the topic of green stalks. And I often do giveaways. I've given away green stalk planters and bases and seed starting kits and things like that. So mark your calendars and join me for one of my upcoming live streams. And let me know in the comments where you're from and what you enjoy growing in your green stalks and what you're excited about this season, because I have got lots of plans for the green stalks that you see behind me. Yeah, so terracotta was the first color that I bought for my green stocks. And at that time I decided, okay, terracotta, that's the only color I'm gonna be growing in, because they had a couple other colors. They had stone, I think at the time. They had evergreen, and I didn't like them as much. I decided I'd go all terracotta. And then they retired terracotta. And I was like, oh no. But anyway, fortunately, they came out with so many other colors that I don't miss terracotta anymore. In fact, I think the 5 terracottas that I have are plenty. And right now, they are all full of my spring vegetables, even though it's not yet spring. A lot of them are starting to bolt because I have had them growing all winter long. This, you guys, is Joy Choy. I love Joy Choy. It is a really, really delicious F1 type of bok choy. It grows quite large, and yeah, the leaves are delicious. I don't harvest the whole thing, I just eat the leaves. So if you're looking for a really great bok choy variety to grow, try growing Joy Choy. You will not regret it. Pan around here. I love how smooth the gimbal is as it pans around. And yeah, I'm still trying to figure out the up-down thing. So pardon me for all the mistakes, but I have got a lot of beets growing in this one. I've got some poppies there. I've got my violas. I've got more purple lady bok choy. I will be honest with you guys, I do not eat as much as I grow. A lot of this ends up in the compost, but gosh, the green stalks bring me a lot of joy. In fact, I'd say more than 50% of what I love about the green stalks is just how gorgeous they look and how much joy. I kind of run out in the garden every day, and the first thing I stop by is to check out my green stalks. And speaking of things that bring me joy in the green stalk, this is the first year I'm growing Brussels sprouts successfully. Now, Brussels sprouts is one of those things that takes a long, long time to produce its, what's it called, flower, I guess is what it is. And I don't have a long enough cool season. They're cool season plants. As soon as it gets warm, they're going to want to bolt. And I don't have enough cool days to give them an opportunity to produce these lovely sprouts. So I had to start these in like July of last year. And finally, I've got one to grow. And I've actually been harvesting some Brussels sprouts from this guy. So it's been pretty exciting. And while we're at this green stalk, another cool season vegetable that very quickly starts to bolt as the weather warms up is radish. And I love growing cherry bell radish particularly because it goes from seed to harvest very, very quickly. I'm growing some indoors actually. I'll show you those. But let's get these. There's a couple more here. It's a decent size for a cherry bell. That's a really large cherry bell radish. Wow. So one of the myths that I am determined to bust this year is that you cannot grow carrots from starts. So all these carrots that you see here, I actually initially planted some seeds and they just didn't germinate. I didn't keep them watered well. I don't know what it was, but they didn't germinate. So I planted some fresh carrots. I actually got the little fingers from my seed collaboration that I did with GreenStalk earlier this year. They did a collaboration with me. It was an amazing experience, but one of the seed packets that I had recommended was the little finger carrots. So they don't grow very tall. They're just perfect for the green stalk. And I actually started them in seed starting trays because in our master gardener garden, the leader of it had bought some plugs and she was like, hey, I'm going to start these carrots. And I'm like, well, if she's doing it, I'm going to do it too. So I am trying it. And you guys, Everything that you see here, all these carrots, these are all started from starts and they're growing really well. Now, I don't want to jump the gun and tell you it's successful yet, but I will show you when I am going to harvest, and hopefully it'll prove that the carrots will be beautiful and straight and long and that you can transplant carrot seedlings. Now, I think the trick to it though is you've got to transplant them really early. You can't wait for them to actually start to develop those roots. You got to get them real teeny, otherwise the roots will probably get wonky and it just won't grow as well. But so far so good. I want to show you some more actually that are growing really well, and another thing that I'm just blown away. Let me show you. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you guys. So I had a couple of friends over yesterday, and I was doing a little garden tour, and this friend of mine was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Oh, this Tamarillo tree." She's like, "No, no, 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 no. That, what is that monster?" And it really is a monster, you guys. This is a purple sprouting broccoli. Let me bring you up close and show you, but check out these leaves. Oh my gosh. This plant is huge, and there's a reason why it's this large. They're not growing this way in other parts of my garden. Yeah, so the reason why this plant and these and the pepper that's behind it that actually grew past my house. I mean, it was a huge pepper plant. I bent it over and it's got beautiful Peruvian peppers on it. And it's like my favorite pepper ever, right? And I'm so glad it overwintered just fine. But the reason all of these things are growing so well in this planter is the planter. It's a self-watering planter. So if I bring you up close here, you see this little indicator. This means that it's full right now. And this contains like 20 gallons underneath it. And it is just a huge blessing in our really hot, dry summers. And I don't have to come and water every day. And these plants just love it. And what they love even more is if I put a little fertilization in the water underneath, they just grow like crazy. I mean, I planted dwarf tomatoes here last year and they did not grow dwarf. They grew well beyond 4 feet, which is what they were supposed to grow to. So everything grows magnificently in this planter. It is absolutely one of my favorite self-watering planters in the entire garden. These are self-watering too, by the way, both these planters. These are all from Vago Garden, and just I highly recommend this planter, and I do recommend this one as well. It's called a tomato planter, I believe. Also growing peas and carrots. And these carrots are the same age as the carrots that I just showed you, but they are double the size. They're getting all the water that they need from underneath here. These planters just absolutely rock. Couple more green stalks that I wanted to show you over here. Now this is on the shady side of my greenhouse, so this does not get as much sun as these green stalks get over here, but they do well for cool season plants. And I've got a lot of cool seasons. This was actually all lettuce, but the lettuce all bolted, and so I planted other things like kale and nasturtiums. It's still got some spinach that is not doing that well because there's ants and aphids over here. So I gotta spray that with some rubbing alcohol. But all of these are pretty similar, all leafy greens. Now this one is going to be an interesting one because I am going to be planting a few root vegetables in this. So once the season is done for these cool season plants, I'm going to be planting ginger in this level, and I think I'm going to be planting turmeric. Not really sure yet, but definitely ginger. And over here I'm growing potatoes. I've planted potatoes already. They should be coming up anytime. It's 2/19 is when I planted it, so that was about 10 days ago. So I should be seeing them anytime now popping up. And I think actually I may grow sweet potatoes as well. So this is going to be all root vegetable kinds of things. I just want to see. I've never grown them before in the green stock. I want to see how they do. And speaking of root vegetables, here's another that I am growing here that I am really thrilled about. These are onions, you guys. These, and the reason I'm so proud of them, two reasons. Number one, I planted these from seed and they are just growing phenomenally well. And the second reason is I want to show you another set of onions also planted from seed, actually a little bit older than these, but you'll see how these are doing compared to those. I've got some beets and some chard and other things. Now let me show you the other onions, the siblings of these. Yeah, I've got these growing in this planter over here, and this was kind of shaded because I got this cover here, and it also got rained on. just a whole bunch of things went wrong with these onions, but you see how small these plants are. So location really matters, where you plant them, and also you gotta fertilize. I've been fertilizing my green stock. I haven't been fertilizing these as much. So many factors that go to make onion plants grow well. I'm actually seeing that these are starting to pick up, and now that the weather is starting to warm up as well, I'm hoping that they'll grow faster, but I gotta come and fertilize. Also, I've got this arch, so I'm growing sweet peas, and they're taking a little bit long to get going. I mean, this time last year I had flowers already, but I am also growing, what are these called? Scarlet runner beans. Yeah, that's what they're called. And they've not been doing really well for me so far. I'm still hoping that they will pick up when the weather warms up. But can you imagine beautiful scarlet runner beans? Going up there to meet with Mr. Sloth, and sweet peas coming from this side. I'm so keen to grow things like cucumbers, maybe some squash. Really not sure yet. Give me some ideas on what you want me to grow on this arch for my summer garden. Quick peek inside my greenhouse. I'm starting to move things out here. I have got coleus. I've got tons of coleus actually. Started bringing them out because it's warming up, and coleus is extremely cold sensitive. Geraniums, I grew these from seed. Again, same batch as the ones that I just showed you. But oh my gosh, aren't they the most adorable, these seedlings? Got some coreopsis. I've got some gazania. I've got a whole batch of new seedlings going here. This is basil. This is something called cardinal basil. Oh my gosh, you guys, if you haven't grown cardinal basil, you're missing out. It is an ornamental basil, but it tastes exactly like Thai basil. And so you get the flowers and you get the leaves as well for, instead of Thai basil. It's exactly the same taste, but I'll put a picture on the screen so you see what it looks like. It's just phenomenal. And then I've got some statis growing here, and I've got some new varieties of vinca that I am growing here because my green stock, I noticed last year that vinca does super well. And this is another of my very favorite Vago Garden products. This again is a self-watering planter, and it is an herb planter, I think is what it's called. But I have grown things like lettuce and what else? All kinds of different herbs in it, and everything I've grown indoors has done phenomenally well. So now I'm trying spinach. Let's see how spinach does in it. I've started some seeds. I can see they're starting to grow. What else do I have here? I've got Rubenza Cosmos. You guys, it's a beautiful dark reddish pink cosmos that as it matures, as the flower matures, it gets a paler sort of an antique color. I just can't wait to see these flowers. I've never grown them before. I've got some orange dragons, snapdragons, something like that, but they're beautiful orange snapdragon, a tall variety. Lots and lots of cilantro. I've got lots of videos on how to grow cilantro successfully. If you guys are interested, check it out. And I've got chamomile. Let's see. Oh, yeah. This is an interesting experiment that I'm doing. I'm growing thyme, creeping thyme, for the first time, and I want to actually plant it in a lot of places. Apparently, it makes a really nice ground cover. It can tolerate light foot traffic, and it smells wonderful. And when it flowers, it looks amazing. And then turning around to this side, here's another exciting thing that I am growing, petunias from seed. Again, I've got a whole video on how I got this started. Last year, I did this for the first time, and how I got it growing, and the flowers and pest management. There's an interesting little pest called the budworm that you have to watch out for with these guys. But yeah, check out that video. It's complete guide on how to grow petunias from seed, and you get so many varieties. I'm growing, I think, at least 6 different varieties this year. This is only one batch. I've got several other batches growing. So I want to show you my raspberry green stalks because that's another interesting experiment that I am doing. So while we're walking over there, the story is that I have always preached that you cannot really grow perennial flowers in the green stalk because they get too large, and you really need to be cycling out that soil to keep all the water flowing. You got to do that at least once every couple of years. So I actually do it every year, but I'm like, okay, do I really want to keep saying that without actually trying it myself. So last year, I planted up these razzleberries that you see behind me here. I planted them up with all kinds of perennial flowers. And I said, let's see how they do and let's see how long they last. I am not going to refresh these green stalks. Frankly, I haven't been fertilizing. The only thing these things have got is water. And I have backfilled the pockets because the soil is kind of going down, and my soil is amazing, if I may say so myself. But everything grew really well last year. This year, still to be seen, but I'm already seeing some signs that are not looking that great. Let me show you. Okay, the green stalk itself overall is looking beautiful, and I just can't wait for my marguerite daisies. Last year, these things were just covered in blossoms, and if you look real close, you can see that that's going to happen again this year. But there is a difference this year, and the difference is, let me take you down here. Do you see this, you guys? The stem has gotten so thick, it's almost like a tree trunk. And this is a perennial plant. It needs to go in the ground somewhere or in a large pot all by itself, because this thing has grown into a beast, and really it shouldn't be in the green stalk. So yeah, I think I have proven what I've been saying all along, is don't grow perennial flowers in the green stalk, because my goodness, I tried to prop this up. I tried to push it up. You can't do anything. That's a tree trunk right there. I've got geraniums growing here as well. The root systems just get too large, you guys, for the green stalk. It might seem like, hey, it's got 6 pockets and all that, but really it's only 1 cubic foot of soil in each of these tiers. That is not very much. So yeah, don't grow perennial plants. And if you do grow perennial plants, you have to make sure to pull them out every year, or every other year at least, trim the roots back, chop off parts of it, and then plant it back. And for me, that's just too much work. But in the meanwhile, let's see how these do. I mean, they are starting to come into bloom. The alyssum's looking lovely. Geraniums are starting to bloom. And then if you look on this side, tons of sweet alyssum. I love my gazania. This purple fluffy flower called bloodwort is just gorgeous, but another perennial. And blood leaf. I seem to like blood. But yeah, the green stalk overall is looking quite nice, but we'll see how it does when spring comes along. But I'm done with this experiment. After this thing is done blooming, I'm going to take everything out and I'm going to restart it. So I just showed you some of my onions that I grew from seed, but I usually get onions every year from Dixondale Farms. I get the starts, and I planted them in these galvanized raised beds. These are some kind of no-name brands that I got on Amazon. I'm just trying them out to see how they do versus the premium brands. I love my Vago Garden beds, but I thought, let's try this out, see if it rusts. Now, these don't have that food grade certification, so that's something that if you care about that, it's something that you need to be aware of. But yeah, the onions are growing nicely, not as nicely as my seed onions. And the other thing that I did, wondering what all these baskets are, it's really to keep the squirrels out. The squirrels just dig and bury their acorns everywhere. So I put these baskets, but what I didn't realize is that the baskets are actually doing a good job. They're holding the onions up. Usually when they reach about this stage, they start to get top heavy. You're going to have to trim them and all that. But these baskets are nicely, kind of keeping them vertical. So maybe it's something that I'm going to think about doing next year as well. I probably won't do the baskets, but put some kind of mesh that the onions can grow through. Also wanted to show you my garlic. Look at this daikon radish volunteer plant as well. It's going to seed. I'll probably let it go to seed so I can get more volunteers next year. My garlic is doing okay. I'm growing it in 3 batches that were separated by 2 weeks. So this was planted, I think, in early October. I've got some stuff in mid-October, and then I've got some stuff in early November. I'll show you those as well. These are doing kind of okay, I would say. Not amazing or anything. And I have been fertilizing, so not really sure why they, maybe they'll pick up in a little bit. I'll give them another round of fish emulsion. Here's some more garlic. This was that second batch. It's also doing, I would say, okay. But the third batch, the one that I started in November 3rd, is what the label says. This one actually is doing the best of all the 3. I'm going to give all of them some fertilizer, but I think early November seems to be the time that my garlic does best in my microclimate. Do you love my not asparagus? What is this? Artichoke. Artichoke is a lovely plant that grows natively in the Bay Area, and I planted one, and now I've got one, two, probably three or four growing from the bottom. And I don't really eat artichokes. I don't like them that much, but they produce the most amazing, amazing blooms, and the bees absolutely go nuts for them. Passing by this African flag flower. Such a beautiful flower. The hummingbirds are always circling around this thing. Thing to watch out for though is that they do tend to drop seeds, and if you're not on top of picking up the seeds, this thing is just going to grow, picking up the seedlings, this thing is just going to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. So yeah, this is already a very large plant, so I'm going to have to take down quite a bit of it when they're done blooming. It's getting a little bit dark, so let me take you actually into my sunroom and show you my seedlings that are starting up for next season. This is one of my favorite new acquisitions this year. This is a grow station from Vago Garden, and it comes with these amazing grow lights. I've got a whole episode where I reviewed this, but these grow lights, you guys, things just, I don't know what it is about it, but it's magical. It's so much better than these regular grow lights that I've got going on here. Everything grows magnificently over here. So something about those grow lights, I think it's full spectrum or something like that. But yeah, I wanted to show you my indoor radish. Now, not all of it is the same variety, clearly. I don't know what this is, even though it came from the Cherry Bell bag. It's a nice dark color, but look how large they are. So I planted these on January 26th, so almost exactly a month ago, and these are ready to harvest. So yeah, you can grow radish indoors. Another thing that I'm experimenting with growing indoors is cilantro. So this is another cute little self-watering planter from Vago Garden, and I'm trying to see if cilantro will grow through it during the hottest part of the year, summer for us. We'll see. We're still in the cool season. And then over here, these little seedlings, these are Lysianthus, aka the most difficult flowers to grow from seed. So I am up for the challenge. I'm a seed starting ninja, self-proclaimed, and these are doing well so far. So fingers crossed, they're the most beautiful flowers. Let's see how they do. And down here, I've got moringa, the world's most important or most popular superfood. And it is growing nicely. I've got several seeds. This is actually a tree, so I will have to be choiceful about which ones I actually grow, and then I'll give the rest away. And I've got a little loofah seedling. I'm growing loofah for the first time. I've got a little seedling that's just starting to pop out there, as well as over there. And down here, I've got coleus, you guys. This is black dragon coleus. And if you're wondering what those are seed snails. I'm going to do a whole episode on how to build a seed snail. I'm really having a lot of fun growing in them because they save a whole lot of grow space in your grow station. But basically, it's a strip of plastic, any kind of plastic, or you can use cardboard if you like, though it might mold on you. But yeah, you put soil on it, you kind of roll it like a cinnamon roll, and you plant your little seeds or seedlings in there, and everything is growing really well. I mean, these are the same age, but you can see that these are just growing so much better than these because they've got a lot more depth for their roots to grow. And I think also because they are closer to the light, they're just doing overall much better. Some more stuff going on here in my other grow station. I've got vinca that I'm starting from seed, marigolds. This is another one that I'm very proud of. It's called Louisia, and I grew these from seed as well. These cute little succulents produce the prettiest flowers. So let's see how they come along. More marigolds, marigolds growing in this huge seed snail. One lesson that I've already learned is don't make the seed snails so large. I think this toilet paper roll size is the perfect size for them. This is a little one over here with marigolds. So many seed snails. Yeah, I can't wait to share with you, but I wanted to kind of get some experience with them first so I could give you some real pros and cons rather than just all the thousands of videos that I've watched. And I've got tarragon that I'm growing from seed for the first time. So let's see how that does. This chamomile really needs to go out. It is a volunteer and it doesn't belong in this grow station. I'm growing some lettuce from seeds. So these seed starting trays, you guys, these are from, again, Vago Garden. These are called Giga seed starting trays. They are huge. The same one is the one that I was growing the radish in as well. And yeah, so I figured why not grow some real plants in it, not just starts. So I'm growing indoor lettuce. I'm growing the indoor cilantro, indoor radish. Let's see whether I can grow all these things all season long indoors. And I've just gotten started on my eggplants, peppers. I've got some tomatoes going. I've not done my full batch yet because I'll be going on vacation. So I want to do it when I come back, and it'll be fine if I plant even in mid-May. Not mid-May, mid-March. I should be good. So the other thing that is growing in the seed snail is sweet potato, you guys. So this tray, which has two large sweet potatoes in it, was completely crowded with sweet potato slips. And I was like, what the heck am I going to do with these? It's not warm enough to put them outside. So I did a seed snail, and they all seem to be doing quite well in the seed snail. I've got some seeds that I'm starting here. This is a bitter melon as well as loofah in this seed snail. And right over here, finally, my ginger is starting. Now, I was actually really worried. Why is my ginger taking so long to sprout? And then I realized that the heat mat wasn't turned on. Somehow the sweet potatoes were sprouting, but the ginger really needed the warmth. I want to show you guys. I hope you don't get grossed out. But these are fungus gnats, you guys. Can you imagine how much larvae they would have been laying in the soil if I hadn't put these traps out to catch them? Anyway, if you haven't watched my seed starting masterclass, check it out. I talk all about pest management and all of that good stuff indoors, how to start seeds, how to plan your garden, etc. I will put a link to that playlist at the end of this video. And I will be planting these in a seed snail as well. These are morning glories. I put a whole bunch of seeds in here thinking that they wouldn't grow because they were a few years old and everything came up. And oh my gosh, what if I had to plant these in little, things like this? I would need so many of them to get all of these morning glories planted up. Thank goodness for seed snails. Let's see how they do. I just wanted to pan you around here and give you a quick peek into my indoor garden. Now it's gone really dark, so I am hoping that my new camera can handle this low light situation over here. But what I really wanted to show you was these trays, these movers from GreenStalk. These are called ultimate movers, and the reason they're called ultimate is because you don't have to put GreenStalks on them. You can put other plants as well, potted plants and things. But these movers, you guys, look at how they move. I mean, I've got a whole bunch of snake plants over there, Sansevieria or something like Sansevieria, and I could not get to them and because I have this huge monstera growing in front of them, but now I can because all I need to do with my foot is move this guy out of the way and drag this monstera forward. Look how easily I did that, this huge plant. And then I can easily access and water my snake plants. So yeah, these have been a total game changer for me, you guys. And at the time that I'm recording this video, they're actually on sale, but gosh, so worth it. So I know I said I'd talk about compost, but yesterday it got dark really quickly and this video is long enough. So I am going to make a dedicated video to my compost setup over here. It's been 6 months since I filled up these bins. I'm excited to open them up at the bottom and see what's going on. And I want to share that with you. So follow along. That video will be coming soon. And if you're still here with me, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I wish I was hanging out with you in person. This has been great. And if you want to check out more content about GreenStalks, I'll put a link to the playlist on the screen. And I will also put a link to my seed starting masterclass. I think you'll enjoy it, especially if you're a beginner seed starter. Thanks so much, you guys, and have a wonderful gardening season.